Hey everybody, welcome to a special bonus episode of Interdimensional IRSS, the unofficial Rick and Morty podcast. I'm Travis, and I am providing you with a cold open to what is a super fun but pretty quick interview with Ian Cardoni and Harry Belden, the voices of Rick and Morty. They took some time to sit down with us, as well as probably a whole bunch of other media outlets, but we got a little bit of time with them to talk about the show and what it's like to do the voices of Rick and Morty. So without any further ado, here it is, our interview with Harry and Ian.
Hey, there's Travis.
There he is.
Or either Brandon or Travis. That's funny.
It's a shared account, all right? So, you know. Here, I'll help you out.
Oh,
there we go.
Amazing. The real time. Nice.
That's good. That's good. Now Travis doesn't have his name. You don't have his last name, but we have each other. So
yeah,
that's good.
We're gonna spend the entire time having you guess my last name. That's how are you guys doing?
Really great. Really
Good.
great.
Yeah. Good to see you guys.
Yeah, good to see you guys.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, it's so good. We saw you last time, and I mixed up your name, so apologies.
I was about to.
You thought about getting name cards this time.
Are you
about holding them up? We didn't want to make it.
I listened to a little bit of episode 3 and heard that you mixed this up. I didn't even realize that.
I had to bring that up again, did you?
Yeah.
he carries that with him every day. We're like developing mnemonics to try and keep you guys figured out. No, yeah.
Listen, of the thing.
I wear glasses. So.
Yeah, he's the glasses one. I can't see anything. And also, I can't feel anything. I can't. Can't wear my glasses because otherwise we'd really get confused.
And I don't even need them. I'm hitting stuff all the time, but it's
they're lensless glasses.
They're not even actually. They're still prescription. They're not my prescription. I'm just I can't see a thing. Also, people can tell us apart, but I guess it doesn't work.
Yeah. Well, hey, you know what? It's of the things that people can say about us mixing our names up is fine.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. All right. Thank you. Cool. That's permission granted. Well, dudes. We know that you have just a couple minutes with us, and we know that there's so many other people that want all of your attention, and we can't get it. We can't have all of your attention. Not for longer than
you have our undivided attention now, though.
Yeah.
So we want to ask you a few questions, Travis. Why don't you start us off?
All right. Well, the first thing we were wondering is, I mean, there are definitely some insane situations and creative lines in Rick and Morty that have been written for your characters. Do you guys have like a favorite or most shocking line that you've gotten to do so far? Something that you read in the script and you're just like, oh, okay, I'm gonna say this. Like this is.
There were definitely a few in season 7 for me. I think the one that sticks out the most was I guess the only way out is through this massive vat of whale semen, and I think that was just that was a nice baptism of fires. It was recorded early on, and the direction in the booth from everybody was, all right, we need to get this a couple different ways. Can you say whale cum, whale jizz, whale sperm, whale, whatever. So we had to go through all the options just to give them that. That was pretty shocking. And then I was honestly pretty surprised that "Get Your Mouth Round It" from the latest episode was we just went with that. I mean, it's gumbo, but yeah.
It's a classic tagline.
I love it now. I'm glad. I hope it's catching on. I'm seeing some memes early on in the Reddit, so it's kind of funny.
It's so memeable. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's funny because I was gonna say even though it's not a Morty line, the whale semen one comes to my mind too, of just like the most shocking. And Beth literally says after, like, "Oh, that's obviously just for shock value." It's so funny. Yeah, there are I don't know. Every time I like get in the booth, I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna say this insane thing, and I have to say it with conviction, and it's real. We have to really take it seriously. I don't know. I think God, I feel like I said like cock or something as Morty. We were like debating over like if we should say like cock or dick or something like that, or asshole. And it's always just so fun to treat that with like the 100% sincerity that it deserves, that we should. And then you just kind of think about it for a minute. You're just like, what are we doing?
I have like a little songwriting book, and it's just like words, and then it's kind of like a thesaurus for songwriting. And I mean, it sounds like you guys have one of those things for different those types of jokes.
Sure, they have it in the writer's room.
It's what we trained for our whole lives as actor.
I believe that. I believe that. Now, when you guys are like in the booth and you guys are recording these lines, is there any like flexibility for like improvisation with the characters? Do you get to improv, or is it pretty strict to like stick to what's on the page?
Yeah, the script, when we get it, has already gone through so many revisions. The writers have already done their jobs, to where they have a pretty good idea of what they want said in terms of the actual lines, in terms of the delivery and the choices that we make with it, and what we do with those lines. Our job is then to give them at least 30 options per line, and we often do. And so what makes it into the cut has nothing to do with, we're not there deciding or only giving one take. We're giving as many options as possible. We are playing with it. And, the mic's open. Sometimes we do throw in a few ad libs, but it's, sometimes maybe just at the end of a run. Might not make it to air, but it keeps us in the world of the characters while we're doing those lines. And so, there's a fair amount of, there's some loose banter, I would say, with all of us who are working. The actors aren't together, but we're with our showrunner and our producer and our sound engineer, and we have fun because you have to, especially with this material. And I think that keeps it fresh. And sometimes we do have a new joke that emerges from there, or our showrunner Scott Martyr will throw something at us, and we'll do a couple variants of that. But the improv really comes into the making sure that the lines are coming from the character and understanding that headspace.
Yeah, they're really great about if we ask to try anything or do anything, they're always, willing to give us that opportunity because it is collaborative and we're having a lot of fun. But it is, yeah, the odds that we are going to come up with something better than these like laser focused writers that the script's gone through like 1,000 million iterations, to get to this point where we're recording it, and then more after, it's pretty slim. So I do feel we have a lot of license to be like, oh, you know what? I think Morty might stammer a little bit more here. I think it would actually help me if I threw in like a quick little or and before this line, and usually like, yeah, that feels right. Okay, let's roll with that. But it's so tight already that there's not much point.
Yeah, and I'll just go a step further. I think that the improvisational tone is somewhat romanticized. And it's not that we don't have those skills, it's that that's not necessarily the job. The job is to serve the writing. And with a show like ours, just as you guys know, as your audience knows, this is a show that requires a lot of clarity because it goes all over the place. And so, we need to hit our marks. Mm-hmm. And if you've ever, met us at a convention or, sort of seen us off the cuff, we do absolutely play off of one another. And the burps and stammers come when they please. So those are completely improvised. Those can come out anytime if you've chatted with us separate of what you hear in the show.
True.
What I will say is that I am also deliberate with. I should maybe put an or an if I'm doing a question, which is also why Travis asks all the questions because I go off in directions. But talking about the kind of like improvisational aspects, like it's it is in the performance that you're being able to do that. You talk about groundlings or uprights at UCB, right? They do all of that, like be in the moment, be the character. Don't try to think about being the character, just be the character. What episode 3, the Rick, the Mort, and the Ugly, you get to do a bunch of these different voices, right? You get to kind of experience that or display that. So what was that experience like? And do you have a favorite voice that you did in that episode?
Harry has one of my favorite stammers I've ever heard, ever. The on another adventure with a Rick in the car was probably one of my favorite lines, the Doc line.
That one was so funny. Yeah, I loved doing Doc because he's so neurotic. It's like the same voice, but he's so crazy neurotic, and it's weird. You can hear like the difference, And then and then there was can't remember what we got. Western Morty, Straw Tooth Morty, I believe is his official name. who's got the southern accent. Oh, maybe he survived it. That one was like so fun to do in the booth where I was just cracking up doing that. And yeah, so many variations of Rick and Morty. And I didn't even realize it until Ian and I watched it together, but it's the fact it's literally only Rick and Morty in that episode. You're only hearing these variations of the characters that we love so much. So that made it like extra fun to do. Yeah, I had a blast.
That episode was such a sandbox and to play in, and it was so fun. We really did develop a lot of the different voices. Sort of, we even brought some of the writers into our session, at least for Boss Hogg. Boss Hogg went through several iterations. Initially, it was really far off the deep end, and so we reined him in a little bit, just again for clarity's sake, keep it a little closer to Rick. But I think at one point I said gentleman with 17 vowels in it, meow, and we had a blast. And I think what you hear now in the final cut is it's a good balance of, okay, it starts from Rick, but it's still obviously it's a part of that particular character that he has the accent
and your real voice as Boss Hogg.
Oh yeah, that was really funny. Yeah, when he slips back into whatever you say, man.
That's so funny. I laughed out loud.
Which is not my actual speaking voice, but or Rick's actual speaking voice. Honestly, yeah. The fact that he's got a voice that's slightly different from our Rick, but it's still not. Yeah. I absolutely love that character. I would be happy if we see Boss Hogg Funkos on shelves, whatever it is.
Abomination.
Mouth around it.
Abomination. Escoutoir with It's utterly ridiculous. It makes me crave a beignet every time.
Get your mouth around it. There you go. All right. So, I mean, obviously you guys are doing voices for two of the biggest animated characters around, but are there any like other dream roles or like characters or things that you would like to play with or have, if given the opportunity, you'd love to kind of work with some other characters?
I am like the biggest DC fan ever. So I mean, I grew up watching Justice League. So any member of the Justice League for me would be like top tier. Flash, Batman, Superman, Green Lantern, anything. That truly would be like a dream.
Booster Gold.
Booster Gold, baby. Yes.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Booster Gold? Exactly. Yeah. Any of those guys, but really any superhero. Marvel too. I love Marvel. But for me, like, yeah, watching the Justice League growing up, that was, I guess that really subconsciously became my goal.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
And welcome to WB.
Thanks.
Exactly. I loved having even just a few lines referring to Ghostbusters in the previous episodes. I'm a big Ghostbusters guy, and with everything coming out of that IP lately, I think it'd be really fun to voice either a Ghostbuster or a ghoul or monster of some kind. And we've met a lot of really cool people who voiced droids in the Star Wars universe out on the road. I feel like that'd be a fun thing to take a crack at. Sort of, a new droid. I think something original would be fun. I mean, it's. We both have the voice matching skill, and there's a lot of really great characters out there that would be fun to try the hat on for. But I think some sort of original iconic character in something, it's one of those worlds would be great.
Awesome. Yeah, when the Ghostbusters line came up in episode 2, I hadn't seen that part, and so I was watching it at home, and I immediately was texting Ian. I was like, "You're talking about Ghostbusters? Oh my!"
I know. It's a dream come true. It's great. We're having a whole Slimer bit. It's fantastic, and I really, and it's You don't watch the episodes that if you're not in them, you preserve as much of the show as possible as a fan.
I had a rare opportunity with that one because Morty does not appear in that episode, and when I heard that, I was like, "Don't tell me anything about that episode." I did do a couple lines in that episode. I play a couple of the Gromflemite characters in that one, but like aside from those pages of the script, I was like, don't show me anything. I want to go in as a fan, and it was such a great experience.
That's awesome.
That's so cool. Like that you text each other like right away.
Oh yeah.
What I've noticed and what Travis and I have noticed is like you guys have a genuine chemistry. Like you've been going to all these conventions, you've been just seeing all these fans across the country. You're doing the Streamily thing to do the autographs, right? Like that's awesome. is such a high profile gig. So like, how have you guys bonded since starting on the show together?
It's a good way to build camaraderie. It's a pretty unique experience from the audition process all the way to where we are now and where the show's going. And the show's going on for a while, so it's a good thing we do get along.
I was just so happy to meet Ian because and I said it probably 100 times to him, but I was like, you are the only other person on the planet that knows what I'm going through right now with just how crazy this whole thing is. And at the time, like keeping it secret and, doing all the like physical vocal work that we were doing, it was just, talk about a way to bond with someone. We're very close now.
Yeah. 100 years forever.
Yeah.
That's awesome. We'll take it.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Well, if there's people that can't get to the convention, can't attend the Streamly event, what's something that you want the fans to know about Ian and Harry?
We're goofballs.
Yeah, we're goofballs. We try not to take ourselves too seriously, but we also, if you can't meet us on the road, watch this season. It's really we put ourselves into these characters now, and to hopefully keep them going for many seasons longer. So that's a good way to meet us in a way.
We had fun making it, and we hope you have just as much fun, if not more, watching it.
Absolutely.
Yeah, congratulations on the season so far. It's been amazing, and we're just super stoked that you guys took the time to sit down and talk to us, and we're excited for the rest of the season.
Thanks so much, guys. Always a pleasure.
Yeah. We'll see you guys later. Bye.
All right, sounds good. Take care. Thank you.